Let me take this back to Nalini, who continues to stay with us from the newsroom. Nalini, fact is that the gaps are clearly there, as also observed by the top court, that prima facie these regulations are vague. Now, while the centre continues to give a very strong assurance through these protests and how the row has been deepening, saying that there will be no misuse, there must be a clear explanation to how they plan to work this out.
So, Isha, what's important and what the court looks at is not whether there will be misuse or not, but if there is a provision can be prone to be misused, which means that even if there is a possibility of a provision being misused, then the Supreme Court has the authority to step in and ensure that the law is uniform throughout and it's equally applicable to all sections of the society, irrespective of their caste and where they come from. Of course, the petitioners in this case had claimed that it's important to accord these protections to persons of all castes, not only the reserved castes, but at the same time, the Supreme Court has said something a little bit different. They've said that we want to move towards a casteless society. We want to move towards a society where the unity of India is reflected in these higher institutions. So the Supreme Court might be looking at it from a different perspective, while also ensuring that all citizens in the country are protected again, under any law that has been brought into force by the central government. Just to take you through the highlights of what has happened today before the Supreme Court, of course, the new guidelines, the equity guidelines that were brought in by the UGC, have been stayed by the Supreme Court, but along with that, notices have also been issued to the central government as well as the UGC to both file their responses to the petitions, which means that the issue is still very much open, even though an interim stay has been put in place. This is not the absolute end of the matter. The Supreme Court is still going to continue hearing the matter after the response comes in from the central government and the UGC. A couple of important things that have been stated by the Supreme Court today is that these guidelines that were brought in have the capacity to have a grave impact on the society, to the extent that the Supreme Court went on to say that their intervention is necessary because the new guidelines are capable of dividing the society. So that's a big statement to come in from the CJI bench. Along with that, they've also clarified that even though these guidelines have been stayed, the earlier 2012 guidelines that were already in challenge before the Supreme Court in a separate petition, those will continue to be enforced. There is no stay on that. So the guidelines of 2012 are going to continue to be enforced, and it's in March when we are expecting for this hearing to now happen next before the Supreme Court, and it's going to be interesting to see whether the central government will now be open to tweaking these guidelines, to changing certain provisions to make it more acceptable to the kind of vision that the Supreme Court has, or whether they're going to defend these guidelines along with the UGC before the Supreme Court during the next date of hearing. That's what makes their reply and the UGC's reply so crucial in this entire matter. Suresh.